Okay, so I have been living in Japan for over 6 months now, half a year, so I decided to do a little Q&A just to answer some questions about moving here, how I'm going, settling in and everything. So I asked on Instagram and the YouTube community page here for some questions, so let's go through a few of them. While playing just some speed paints of some art I've done, just be in the background, so yeah. First up, favorite place in Japan. That is actually very hard for me to pick. Japan is the place where I could be thrown anywhere in the country and still find something interesting to do or look at. But if I had to pick just one, Tokyo as a whole would definitely be up there. I chose to live here after all, and there's just so much. You can spend a lifetime exploring Tokyo and still not see everything. It fascinates me just how many layers the city has, that there's millions upon millions of people living such a beautiful, complicated life here, yet everyone still has their own unique experiences and favourite little spots and memories with it. It truly is one of the greatest cities in the world. Within Tokyo, some of my favourite spots would be Machida, which is technically its own city, but still within Tokyo Prefecture. I like how it's got a bit more of a suburban feel to it, with more greenery, and it's about equal distance from downtown Tokyo. The sea and the mountains, a good balance. But aside from that, I love walking along the Tama River, and Tokaido Park and Suganami Ward will always have a very special personal place in my heart. But I think my favourite park is probably Komazawa Koen, which is got a big running track around it. There's lots of sports facilities there and just lots of trees. It's nice, it's always busy, lots of cute dogs, and it's just a really nice place to go to on weekends. So yeah. But aside from Tokyo, I would say that Hokkaido is a close second. Hokkaido is so unique compared to the rest of the country, and despite only getting to spend a week there, it was an amazing experience. I have very fond memories of Lake Toya and Sapporo especially. I would highly recommend making it out there because it's a very different experience compared to Tokyo or Osaka. Was there anything unexpected about Japan compared to your previous travels there? Honestly, not a ton in terms of culture shock. Before moving here, I had been to Japan 6 separate times, and I was 13 years old when I first went. And I spent about the last 3 years or so preparing for this move. But I would say that just moving overseas was a bigger adjustment overall and getting back into my routines than I expected it would, which makes sense, but I thought I could tank it, I guess. But I've actually learned a lot more about other English-speaking countries such as the UK and the USA from people I've met here, because there's not as many opportunities to meet people like that in Australia. Do you think you'll live there forever? Well, I don't know about forever, but I would like to stay in Japan for as long as I can at the moment. I've been here for 6 months now, and I haven't felt particularly homesick or anything. Every time I step outside, I feel very happy to be living here, exploring, seeing the communities and participating in them, as well as seeing the seasons change, which Australia doesn't have. It really all kind of fills my heart and makes me happy. So I'm currently working towards getting a more permanent job and visa, ideally in the creative industry, so fingers crossed I can make it work. Is there anything you would have done differently to prepare for your life in Japan? There isn't a lot that comes to mind. For the type of visa I'm on, I was actually surprised at how vague a lot of it was, and I feel like I ended up doing too much research compared to most people that did a working holiday. I don't really tend to dwell too much on things I could have done or things I regret doing or not doing, but if I had to pick something, it would probably be having more confidence in my Japanese to start reading books and listening to things earlier. I feel that would have helped me progress a bit faster, which doesn't relate directly to the move, but of course learning Japanese is relevant to living here. Are there any art events or conventions/fairs you want to attend to over there in Japan? And what's the current craze nowadays in terms of media, pop culture? There are so many events and conventions here, it's very overwhelming. Pretty much every weekend there will be something interesting going on over at Tokyo Big Sight, or a pop-up store, or a limited exhibition for an anime or game, or just something like a statue or whatever. To name a few I've been to, Tokyo Design Festa last November, and most recently in May, Comic City Tokyo. I went in underprepared for just how much yaoi would be there. The Neon Genesis Evangelion Anniversary Exhibition, the All of Capcom Museum Exhibition, the Ado Adotomy Exhibition, the Amazing Digital Circus Finale premiere, as well as a pop-up store for it, and many, many other pop-up stores. In terms of future events, I'll just have to try and keep an eye out for whatever pops up, and if I have the money to attend, or the luck to win a gacha seat to it. Although I would like to eventually make it to a Comitia and Comiket, which are massive zine conventions, as well as Tokyo Game Show. And I'd love to someday go to an Ado concert or something like that, but I'm not sure if I have the luck to win a ticket to that. And in terms of the current craze, well, Chiikawa is still dominating the country and doesn't have any sign of slowing down. Shohei Ohtani is of course very popular, but I'm not too up to date with what specific seasonal shows are really popular right now, but I usually will just find out by walking around Shibuya. They always have music playing in the streets for whatever popular anime or album is getting pushed, and sometimes big pop-up things in the street, like this giant laboon when One Piece with live action season 2 came out, or this collaboration between Fukushima Prefecture Tourism and Final Fantasy. How has your work-life balance been compared to where you were living prior? Has it been impacted? It has, and hasn't in different ways. In terms of my day job, I'd say things are a bit better for me. I used to be too self-sacrificial in my old job and had nightmares about it every night, so I was not in a good spot. But I've been making sure to take better care of my health in regards to work, but it's also a less stressful environment, which does help. But in regards to personal work like YouTube and art, it has taken a hit. Before I was so focused and determined on getting to Japan, so when I got here it felt like I'd achieved it and felt like my body kind of went into vacation mode. But I've realized now that I was more directionless after accomplishing a big goal. That combined with this feeling of everything still being temporary has made it difficult to get into a good rhythm of things and establish good routines in regard to video production and art. I'm still in a share house with not the best setup and not the best privacy, so that also adds to that feeling. But overall, moving overseas took a lot more out of me than I would have thought. Are you fluent in Japanese? No, I am not fluent yet. I'm currently studying for the N2, which is the second highest level of the JLPT. In terms of my level, I can read pretty well. I read and translate manga for my job, so I'm most comfortable with that and can do it without much difficulty. Listening and speaking is harder though. I'm naturally very introverted and I spend days at a time by myself, plus I don't go out to drink, which is the only real way you can interact and practice your Japanese, so I haven't had as many opportunities to improve those areas. I've been slacking a bit though as well, and could be doing better. It's never a habit I need to work into my study routine. In the future, when I get a bit better at that, I do want to make a video going through the methods I use to improve. But since moving here, I would say I have improved quite a bit. Everyone says immersion is the best way to improve at a language, which is true, but it doesn't happen automatically. You still need to put in a lot of time and effort studying and learning the language. I've improved, but still been pretty gradual, so it's hard for me to notice day to day. But when I think back to things I could read or understand 6 months ago, I can see that I have improved quite considerably. What has changed most about your daily routine? Any new habits? Well, my breakfast has changed. Something I couldn't really get used to or rather got sick of quickly was the shokupan. Back in Australia, I would have toast every day, but thick cut bread slices you get here called shokupan are just too sugar-filled and sweet for me to tolerate. So I ended up getting a bit more of an expensive wholemeal bread, and I just have ham and cheese on that every day for breakfast. I also tend to do things a bit later in the day. In Japan, everything opens later around 10 or 11, which is very different compared to Australia. I used to leave the house at 6:30 AM to start work at 7, so my productivity in the day has shifted a bit. And as for my commute to work, I try to avoid the rush and cramped trains as much as I can, but you can't really fully escape it since it lasts like 4 hours. So what I do is walk part of my way to work, about 40 minutes or close to 4 kilometers each day, skipping the most crowded parts on my train line. It's good because I get my 10,000 steps in, it's mostly in the shade, I can listen to some music, podcasts or Japanese, and it's gradually training me for the intense summer heat starting soon. Does it ever get lonely in Japan? How do you deal with that? As I mentioned earlier, I've been pretty good on this front. One of the most common things people talk about of moving to Japan is loneliness and isolation. But for me, it's kind of sad to say, but even back in Australia, I already lived a pretty lonely and isolated life. So moving here, not a lot was bound to change. At least not for the worst. That's just naturally how myself and my family are. We're all mega introverts, and my parents literally moved out into the middle of the bush off-grid in the mountains. We're all kind of hermits, so I've actually been pretty good mental health-wise. In fact, I've probably been better because I've been getting outside more and just not worrying about burning. Have you encountered a bear yet? Also, would you ever try bear paw if you have given the chance? I have not. Thankfully, I haven't really been in any place where bears hang out since about 2023 when I went to Hokkaido. The closest would probably be Mount Takao and Hachioji. And would I try bear paw? I didn't even know this was a food until recently where I saw a video of it. And I don't know. I've tried a lot of food that I've never had before since moving here. And a lot of that's kind of unconventional to the Western palate, such as horse and eel. But food that looks literally like the animal is most intimidating for me, so bear paw is kind of in the same league as ebi/shrimp for me, funnily enough. I think I would be tempted at the very least just for the experience of it. Even though you wake up every day and you're in Japan, what's something about living here that never gets old for you? I would probably say just the amount of things going on, and a lot of that relating to art. Being in Australia, it's a country that doesn't really respect or celebrate or appreciate the arts much at all. But in Japan, there's everything relating to it. Even if it's very kind of consumeristic, you will hear people playing instruments on weekends in public areas like Ikebukuro, or there'll always be a market or something, or there'll always be a new design of a train, or a fun, like, illustration in an advertisement, or some pop-up thing, or an event relating to some anime or some niche otaku kind of thing. There's always just something celebrating the arts, or celebrating Japan's culture and history, and I find that just amazing. I love it so much. There's so much to do here with that, and I don't think I ever will get tired of it, because it's always motivating and inspiring me. That, and just seeing the seasons change, like, every season I'm like, oh, autumn's my favorite season. Then winter came and it snowed for the first time. I was like, oh no, winter's my favorite season. And then spring came and everything turned bright green with flowers. I'm like, oh, maybe spring's my favorite. And it's becoming into summer. Maybe I'll also really like it. I'm not sure though. And on another note, the other thing that I love is the McDonald's. 599 yen for large fries and 10 nuggets is just too good. My fat ass gets it all the time and it still tastes good, man. 6 months later, I'll keep eating it. But yes, those are some of the questions that were asked and answered. So if you have any more, feel free to comment them down below or come to one of my streams in the future and I might answer them in a future video or on a future stream. So yeah, thank you for watching and thank you for being patient with me as I've been adjusting on this move, trying to get a better routine for making videos. I've had a few hits in productivity and wanting to get things done, but hopefully I can pull things around a bit in the second half of this year. So yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you all on another video. Bye bye!